Hi Darsh, how are you?
I'm fit as a fiddle. And what about you, ma'am?
I'm great too. Very congratulations on your book and also on the podcast. Uh, would you like to introduce yourself?
My name is Darsh. I am 9 years old. I am passionate about story writing.
All right, you're just 9 years old. And is this the first book that you have written?
Yes, ma'am.
And also, is this the first book that you have written on the BriBooks platform, or have you written other books on the BriBooks platform?
Ma'am, first book I've written.
Okay. And how were you introduced to the book writing? Was it through your school?
No, ma'am.
And how did you come to know about BriBooks?
Ma'am, my conversation teacher told me about BriBooks.
Oh, that's great. So, before you were introduced to BriBooks, did you ever think of writing a book or becoming an author?
Yes, ma'am.
So, did you write anything before? I mean, did you used to write anything before you published your book?
Ma'am, before publishing the book, I went to conversation teacher Vinaika ma'am. She told me to write stories, so I framed many stories in my practice notebook.
Oh, that's great. That's great. What kind of stories do you write in your practice notebook?
Ma'am, like my Vinaika ma'am told some words and uh, tell us to write on that on with the new words.
Oh, that's great. So, can you share one of the stories that you have written?
Ma'am, I'm not having practice notebook right now.
Or just the idea of it? I mean, just for me to understand what all stories have you written about? Do you remember some of those?
No, ma'am.
All right, okay. So this book that you have written, Shreyam, Time Zone Traveler. What is this book about?
Ma'am, this book is about time traveling. It is full of adventure and it is based and the adventure is taken by a boy named Shreyan.
Oh, Shreyan. So sorry, I had mispronounced it earlier. All right, so this boy, Shreyan, he lives in Siliguri, I think, right?
I'm
In
Shillong.
Shillong. All right, Shillong. And then this kid is also, he's also a person who likes sports. And he then goes around, different adventures using the time traveling uh, thing, machine. And then he also studies though, right? So, how did you come up with the idea about writing this book? It's a very interesting book. I've read it just now. So, how did you think about writing this book?
Ma'am, I have always loved stories and I wanted to create a world that felt magical and exciting to me. One day I had this great idea to write a book.
All right. And who did you think of the story before or the title?
Ma'am, earlier I used to read Sudha Murthy's books,
Right. And then,
and then uh, and then I framed my book.
okay, okay. So now that you have become a published author and you know how the book writing works, if there was one advice that you could give to other authors who want to write a book or who want to start their, journey as a published author, what advice would that be?
Don't be afraid to start. Write what you love, and don't worry if it's not perfect. Keep practicing, and you will get better with time.
And did you also follow this advice?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So did book writing, was it fun or, it kind of also helped you in improving your comprehension, vocabulary skills? Did it help you in any way or was it just a fun project?
Ma'am, writing does not feel like work. It's more like an adventure.
So it's an adventure for you. Do you feel relaxed and happy after writing?
Yes, ma'am.
And did somebody help you write this book, or did you think of the story yourself?
Ma'am, my conversation teacher, Miss Vinaika Bhatia, and my mother, Miss Rashmi,
They
helped
helped.
me.
All right. And did they proofread your book and correct your mistakes and they give you your feedbacks?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So because it's a long book, right? How many days did it take you to write this book?
Ma'am, 2 months.
Oh, so it was like an entire journey of you writing a few pages and then thinking about what to write next and then adding on to more pages. Did you also do some kind of research before you started writing?
No, ma'am.
So you this was just completely your idea. You wrote whatever came into your mind and your heart, right?
Yes, ma'am.
That's very, very great. Okay, so because I understand that this is a fiction book, if there were any other kinds of books, any other genres that you would want to write a book in, what would that be? What would you want to
Ma'am,
write a book about?
ma'am, I didn't get you.
If after this book, because it's about time traveling, if I were to give you or think of another topic to write a book about, what will that be? What do you love writing about? Do you like sports or adventures or horror or maybe mystery?
Ma'am, adventures.
All right. Okay, that's great. And do you like to play sports as well? Or what are your hobbies?
Ma'am, skating, reading books, and sports.
And what kind of books do you read?
Ma'am, like Panchtantra, Sudhamurti.
All right, that's very, very great. So, you can, as you said that, you also like to play sports. So you can write a book about sports maybe, right? Because you can think of all of the story. The characters can be, some kids who are sorted into a team or who want to maybe become an athlete or somebody who wants to go play football or cricket, and then you could build a story around it. Do you plan on to write another book?
Yes, ma'am. I already have some ideas for my next book. I'm excited to start working on it.
That's very, very great. Also, if I were to ask you, what is the favorite part of the book that you've written? What is your personal favorite part of your book? You have written your book, right? What is the favorite part of your book?
Ma'am, traveling to zoo.
Do you love zoo? Do you love animals?
Yes, ma'am.
Have you ever been to the zoo?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so what is your favorite animal?
Ma'am, dear.
Why? You like deers? Why do you like deers? Do they look beautiful? And they're very, very beautiful creatures and they're very simple animals.
They never harm anyone.
Yes, yes. All right. Is there anything else that you want to share with us?
No, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you so much for connecting with us. It was great talking to you. I wish you all the best and congratulations once again. I would love to read other books written by you. Have a great day. Bye bye.
Thank you, ma'am. Bye, ma'am.